Well, hello, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever we air this. We are so glad to be here today. It's Thursday night, and I'm going to go ahead and just let everybody welcome Dr. Michael Gross. I'm thrilled to have him with me.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. I want to thank to you who, when we first get started, is adding so much to the chat rooms, so much information. So if you see her looking down, she's not playing with her cell phone. She's adding a lot of information into the chat room. Thank you to you for doing that. All right. So thank you, everyone. And is there anything you want to add before we get cracking?
Absolutely. We respect everybody's time, so we script this part so Tia doesn't miss the golden nuggets. And then I'm going to turn everything over to Michael, okay? So, I'm going to introduce you, Michael, and here we go. Okay, Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual coach, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create their lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their own intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the True Source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the True Source. Michael currently lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has recently launched his nonprofit. So, Michael, before we get started, why don't you take a minute or two and talk about your nonprofit and then just go into the
Right.
subject, okay?
All right. The International Institute of Self Empowerment, or TIISE. It's a nonprofit, a 501c3, and it's all about, at first, helping abused women, children, and men. That is our first goal. I keep saying every week we're getting closer and closer to getting our website set up, and we are. It's almost all set up. We're challenged with a couple of other things, working with software and computers and systems that just are totally inflexible, but we've got some experts that are helping us out on that. So please be patient. And Tiu wrote the book Healing, called Healing the Holes, in Your Soul, who is a survivor of abuse. She's the director of abuse in the International Institute of Self Empowerment. So thank you for being there. We'll be filling you in with more information as time goes. So I'd like to share with you discovering who you are. We look at ourselves and you see you're male or female, you're blonde or brown hair, brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes. Maybe you're fair skin, light skin, dark skin, whatever you are. And you look in the mirror and that's what you see. But really, you are much more than what you see. You're a spiritual soul having a human experience. I bet a lot of you have heard that before. But the truth is, you really are. And the truth is that your soul chose to be here. And in being here, everyone has a special mission and goal. Well, first of all, as you go through the birth canal and you come into this beautiful planet and you're beginning to awaken, and your soul is now in a baby that could be minutes, hours, or days old. Your soul is very old. However, the baby is very new. And everything appears to be beautiful and new and exciting and wonderful, which is the way it should be. But you also know that you have a specific purpose. Excuse me. And the specific purpose is to discover why you're here, what your mission and goal is, and your direction in life. But you're here also to enjoy the life. So here you are with two beautiful parents, a mom and dad, perhaps siblings. And you're being filled with love and joy, a little bit of frustration when you wake up at night, 2 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're crying because you want your diaper change, or perhaps you're looking for some milk or some food. But that's part of life. And since you're not really at this point able to say, "Hey, mom, I'm hungry, change my diaper," so you go about screaming and crying or whatever, and they lovingly come by, change the diaper, say some nice words, maybe rub some cream around your body so you won't get chafed, and some food. And that's a beautiful thing that is happening. But we forget that beautiful thing. That beautiful thing is your life. It's in this body. How can you smell the flowers? How can you feel the sun? How can you understand love? But also learn about disappointments. It's so interesting about our human race at this time. We learn more readily when we're faced with a lot of challenges in our life. And if we understand we're faced with challenges, what are the challenges? Well, whatever you want them to be, of course. And our basic instincts is food, clothing, and shelter. But once we get above our basic instincts, we're here to explore life. It's like you're an artist and you have a blank canvas and you can paint and design anything you so desire. You are designing your life. That's one important factor you need to understand. You are the SOUL creator of your life. Some of you have heard me say that before, but I want to reiterate that because it's so important. And you're also here to do a mission and goal. And it has to do with family, friends, relatives, vocations, and also a spiritual basis. But you forget who you are and what you are as you grow up. You're just a human being and facing the challenges of life. And that's something really important when we look at the challenges of life. Because the challenge of life spurs creativity within you. And that creativity within you helps you to define who you are, what you need to change in your life, what you need to enhance in your life, and what you so desire to accomplish in your life. And therefore, you're building up a backlog of information, everything you can refer to, what worked, what didn't work, and so on. But there is another equation. Therefore, if you try something, it didn't work. Perhaps the timing wasn't right. Therefore, if you're 11 years old and you went out to play tennis the first time, more than likely, you're not going to do very well. But that's part of the challenge of life. Therefore, you take tennis instructions or you play tennis, and each time you get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, then a lot better. And you're able to proficiently play tennis. Well, if you look at your life and all the challenges, you're learning new and important, wonderful things in your life. And each that hones your skill, makes you sharper, more aware, more intelligent, gives you great knowledge, and helps you to formulate the next day, the next month, the next year, maybe the next 10 years. And that's so important. So they teach that you should down, and as you sit down, you should come out with a game plan, a formula. This is what I so desire in the next 10 years. That's great and wonderful. How do you know it's the right thing to do? How do you know you weren't influenced by family, friends, relatives, your education, greed, or perhaps looking longingly at someone else and say, I want that. I want to become that. Most important, think about that. What are you truly after? And there was a very dear friend of my family, and he was in the Boston Symphony, and he played, I believe it was the flute. And what happened was, when he was in high school, junior high actually, he wanted to join the band and the orchestra at that time, I should say. And he wanted to play trumpet, but they didn't have much money, and the only thing they had was a flute. So he took it, and he became the number one flute player in the world. Never planned, it just happened. Well, there's a message here. And the message here is be in the flow of life. Look at the opportunities. Don't be singular. In other words, my way or the highway. No, you can do that, and you will end up with egg on your face. But you really don't know the direction in life that you're supposed to have. Keyword, supposed to have, rather than what the mind or ego says. And that there are many times that you start in different directions and you shift gears, you change directions, you go one way or the other way, and sometimes you run into brick walls. because you're not listening to who you truly are. That is so key. And I want to point that out today, this evening, I should say, or today, because discovering who you are is a wonderful, joyous journey. How do I do that? Take some time, start to meditate, ask for your direction in life, and then say, listen, I don't know. I'm not getting this information. I'm never going to do it again. I can't meditate. I think about all these things. And you go through all these emanations. Sound familiar? I went through it. Then finally, the act of surrendering. You say, I don't know what direction, where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do. Just open up the doors and let it happen, and I'll walk through them. That's what we need to do when you're running into frustrations. And just a word about meditation. I have a very dear friend, and he's very analytical, logical. He was a sheriff in LA County. And he said, Michael, I can't meditate. I said, yes, you can. So I told him to focus on two words, inhaling dream and exhaling heaven. And so he set his phone, that was it, for 3 minutes. That's all. And he said, tired when the 3 minutes are going to be up, dream heaven, dream heaven. I wish this was over. Dream heaven. I can't stand this, dream heaven. But he made it for 3 minutes. And he did that for 4 or 5 days. Then afterwards, he went for 5 minutes, another week, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes. And eventually, he can now do it up to an hour if he so desires. But it didn't happen overnight. You have to work at it. Just like everything in your life, when the door opens up for opportunity, you have to do something. You have to take action. The action doesn't have to be strenuous, but you must walk through the door. I know Tia wants to add something, so go ahead, Tia.
I do. Thank you, Michael. I can totally relate to meditating and not being able to focus because I had all these things in my head going, well, you have to do this, you have to do that, the laundry, the groceries, whatever. And that first few minutes was very, very challenging. But, when you finally start moving in that direction and silence all the chatter, maybe you could take a minute to help people with, why we do that. Why do we have all that crazy chatter going when it's so simple? And now I meditate sometimes over an hour and a half. It's crazy. But I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And that's so interesting that you say that. So your major challenge in life is ego, edging God out. Well, the derivation of your ego, I'll go really, really briefly, is when you're born, you come through the birth canal, you're talking to your guides and angels, and guardian angels. Watch a baby smiling, looking up in the air and laughing. What's this baby doing? I don't see anything. And that's because the child is talking to the guides and angels, guardian angels, and so on. And for the average bear, so to speak, by the age of 3.5, the veil of forgetfulness descends upon you, and there's no more contact. And the reason is because if you knew everything that was going to occur, you might put it off or might exaggerate or goof off and say, I'll take care of it next year, next lifetime, next whatever. I'll just mess up all I want. Therefore, now you don't know. And you begin to talk to an imaginary friend like a horse or a cow or whatever it is. You make up something. And thought forms actually have energy. And if you don't think it doesn't, take a look at the place that you're employed. Watch how people feel about where they work. There's a common theme, and it's the thought form that they have. Even those of us who are independent, financial, independent entrepreneurs, we have created thought forms of energy. Mine is spirituality. You're unlimited. What you think you create, which creates your experience. Right? Those are some of them. And of course, my favorite, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. All these thought forms are around me. And people, souls that come to me, they'll pick up on one or two or three of them or all of them. So these thought forms have an energy and a vibration and a frequency, even have a color. And we'll talk about human first. Ego. ego thought forms. So the ego supports you, and then it wants to control and manipulate you. And that's how you get off track. So when you're beginning to meditate, the ego, I'm losing control. I'm losing control. I got to bring up all these fears, these doubts, and these blocks. You can't leave me. You can't leave me. Although the ego, the thought forms, the energy knows that when you birth out of your body, it no longer exists. Thank goodness. And that's so important. Our major challenge in this lifetime is to put the ego in its place and listen to true soul guidance. And above that is true inner source guidance. And we'll be addressing that a lot later, perhaps this evening or maybe in another time. And the reason I say that is because I am channeling this information. Some of you know I don't write anything, I don't prepare anything. I just come up with a subject the true source wants me to talk about, and I just tune in, so to speak, and the words and the thoughts come. Now, let's get back to who you truly are, discovering your true essence. Your soul is part of the true source. In the Old Testament, it says you're made in the image of God. So you're not a old man or an old woman or a sage. You're a beautiful soul. And you have, in our languaging, the DNA of the true source. So we're all part of the true source. Therefore, when we meditate, we realize that we're just here from a human experience, whatever mission and goal we've decided to do. But at the same time, we are spiritual. Well, really, what does spiritual mean? Spiritual means that we have no limitations, that we're able to create everything we so desire. But you see, when you're spiritual, you do everything in a loving nature. Therefore, it's the loving nature. Why would you harm someone? Why would you be jealous? Why would you want to create chaos or pain? Think about that. Love in itself fulfills love. Without love, there is no life, and without life, there is no love. That's a quote from the true source. And this is what all of us need to understand. Our direction in life has been predetermined by you before you incarnated to experience life, perhaps to heal some karma, to learn about self worth, self love, and self esteem, and to empower you. Stop looking to the left, to the right, up, down, answers. Answers are all within, right within you. All answers are there. And when you stop to enjoy life and doing it in a very loving way, you get out of the rat race, you get off the subway. And here's something important you need to understand. Everyone here has a mission and goal. Family, friends, relatives, children, even work and a spiritual mission and goal. And I am so tired of hearing, oh, God has a plan for me, or God's punishing me, or whatever. You were given free will and free choice. Why? With a loving, beautiful, true source, whose only vibration and frequency is love, ever want you to suffer, ever want you to be in pain, ever want you to be hurt. So how does that happen? Ding, 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 ding. You create it. Here's the other caveat. Every experience that you're having, the true source lives through you, experiences everything, because that's our purpose of our soul, to go out and create, to experience, and to share that experience with the true source. Because you see, the true source is only one vibration frequency. That's it. No left, no right, straightforward. And that's love. That's it. Love is the glue and the power that creates your life. That's how you were created. And that's why you're here. So in this planet, in this solar system, we call it love. But it's a vibration of frequency, of peace, of joy, of happiness, and of life. I can't describe love. You can't either. We can only look at the poets and so on, but impossible. What if each one of us that are listening to this right now decided, I'm going to meditate on love. True source is love. I want to feel the true source of love. I desire to feel the true source of love. Then you got to go, I now feel the true source of love. You can't put a price on it. You can't even explain it. But it's the most beautiful thing once you understand that that is your essence. How do you think your life would be? And what direction would your life go into? Don't look for anyone to save you. You came here to experience love. And that love is what's going to heal you and empower you to do your mission and goal. When I say no one's going to save you, I'm not going to save your body. You're in charge. Look at all the people: diabetes, cancer, others, MS, MD, Lou Gehrig's disease, sickle cell carcinoma, all kinds of stuff. Why would the true source want you to suffer? Why would the true source want to hear your pain because you're loving? The answer is, of course not. You are creating it. And you're creating it for many reasons. Perhaps you're creating it to learn about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Everything we do, there's a phrase a friend of mine used, is a payoff. So I'll share that with you. Eat too much, gain weight, payoff. Right? If you go around hurting people, you get hurt, payoff. Everything's a payoff. You love yourself, you have all kinds of loving energy around you. In our human experience, we try to control everything that comes around us. Because why? We're living in fear. Might not work out right. I got to have it my way or the highway. And I will guarantee you that as you control everything in your life, you'll end up with egg on your face. Therefore, just be in the energy of love. Each morning, ask for true source inner guidance. You don't have to know what it is, and just accept it. And then you'll discover who you are. And that is a spiritual being having a human experience and discovering that you are unlimited and that you are the sole creator of your life. I want to thank all of you for joining us, and I'd like to share some additional information. And every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have Soul Awakening. And that's where you can call in and ask any question you so desire. Hopefully I can answer it. And then I leave a 10-minute little motivational message. And there are several hundred of them right now. Tia, would you give them that information, how they could call in and join
Absolutely.
us?
Absolutely. But first, thank you, Michael, for that most powerful message. It gave my heart such warmth. And I so hope these people that are listening to your message also take a moment and start considering, even for 5 minutes, meditating. It's a gift that we really truly need to bring back into our lives. So, that number on Tuesday night, if you want to know more about love and everything else, call Michael. His number is 202 926 1059, and the access code
125446 pound.
one more time, 202 926 1059, and the access code, Michael.
125446 pound. And if you take that same telephone number and the same code, the second Saturday of every month from 9:55 a.m. to 11:01 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we do what we call a mass consciousness of healing of Mother Earth and all its inhabitants. By the way, you're part of the inhabitants. And the first 3 to 5 minutes I speak, then we're in silence. So if you tune in late, you'll hear silence. And then 3 to 5 minutes before we're done, I come back on, talk to you a few minutes, and then we conclude. And the telephone number is the same, so we just need to give it once. And that
Okay.
telephone number is
202 926 1059.
And the access code is 125-446-pound. I have fun with that. Here's something that I feel is so important. And what is important is there's a repeat of those 10 to 12 minute messages that I deliver every Tuesday. And there are several hundred of them. And I would suggest we're going to give you the telephone number and the access code. And it starts at number 3 and it goes to approximately 209 or 10. Don't bother to wonder what it is. Whatever number comes to your mind, number 27, number 142, just do that. I can't tell you how many persons say, I didn't know what I was asking for, just what I needed to hear. In order to access that information, would you share that number?
Absolutely. That number is 434 300 4170, and the access code
125-446-pound. One more time.
absolutely 434 300 4170, and the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. And I'd like to share one more thing with you, and that I do offer a 20-minute complimentary consultation, and you'll find that information in the chat. Please feel free to take advantage of it. I have a suggestion. And my suggestion is that call me. You'll have the telephone number, and that will remind me to get back to you. When I look at my messages, sometimes it's not till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And I keep telling everybody, call me. I'll send you a message. I'll get back to you. It'll remind me to call you. But if you leave me a message and I'm too tired at night to look at them, it may be another day till I get to them. You need to understand that. Call first, and then I will get back to you if I'm tied up. The other point I want to share with you is Healing the Holes in Your Soul. It's a beautiful book written by T.U. Knapp. It's a beautiful story about a woman rising like the phoenix out of the ashes. It's inspirational, it's empowering, and it will help guide your life to realize when you reach deep within you, you can achieve anything. So I highly recommend the book. And as you know, when I talk about the book, our job, our mission and goal is to share these books with you. We're not in the business of selling books. We're not even in business. We're in service to help heal and empower you. I get so upset when people go, my business is do healing. No. You're in service to help others. That's your mission and goal. Everyone, I recommend the book.
I want to add something here, Michael. Okay.
Sure.
Start with this book, The Spiritual Primer. It's written by Dr. Michael Gross. This is his second edition. He's got extra golden nuggets in here. And if it wasn't for this book that I'm holding and the man right next to me, the book that he's holding wouldn't even be in existence, okay? He has done so much work to help me understand exactly what spirituality is all about and how important it is for us to look inside and listen to our inner voice, because that's truly where we are guided from. It's not out here in the perimeter, it's deep within us, and Michael has talked about that before. So I hope, Michael, that somewhere down the road, not too far away from now, that you also bring another topic like this back for the people. They need to know how important it is that we all be in service and give love to one another. You know, it's very, very simple. I'm going to put the book down. It's very, very simple for us to turn around, and it takes a small gesture to change the life of another person. And the beautiful energy that we put out there when we do that, you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know where the ripple effect is. But when we begin that ripple of love, we are working collectively to help heal the earth and help everybody here. That's how powerful what Michael teaches us is. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We wish you a great week. We know that Father's Day is coming up, so we wish all the fathers happy Father's Day. And for single mothers, you're also on Mother's Day, and we celebrate Father's Day to you too for all the work you do. Everyone, Take care. Remember, you are unlimited. Namaste. Remember, we love you. Have a great week. Take care.
Take care. Invite your friends on Thursday nights, okay?
And just remember, Dr. Michael B. Gross, YouTube, you can see all the replays.
That's
All right,
right.
everyone. Take care.
Okay, take care.